right, several Trump cabinet picks making the rounds on the Hill today, including CIA Director nominee John Ratcliffe. Who's on his first set of meetings list? Also Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kash Patel, all returning for more sit-downs. Chad Pergram is live on Capitol Hill with more as these meetings continue. Hi, Chad.
Dana, good morning. It appears that the Trump transition team studied the ship with Pete Hegseth. He meets today with Susan Collins. She has questions about sexual assault in the military and Ukraine. Hegseth met yesterday with Lisa Murkowski.
Had a good exchange, and we'll see what the process bears.
What more are you looking to learn?
Well, he's got probably at least half the Senate that he's going to visit with. He's got a process that is going to involve full vetting through the administration and then ultimately a committee.
Both Murkowski and Collins will be swing votes on all controversial nominations. Other Republicans are closing ranks around the pick of President-elect Trump to lead the Pentagon.
And it's time to restore the meritocracy that has always been the U.S. military, and to have the military be proud of itself in addition to the American people being proud of the military. And Pete Hegseth brings that to the table.
But Democrats have serious reservations about other picks like Kash Patel and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His meetings begin next week, but lots of focus remains on Hegseth.
I am hearing from Republican colleagues grave doubts about his ability to do this job in a way that upholds our national security.
The pick to lead DHS, Kristi Noem, is here today. She meets with current Homeland Security Committee Chairman Gary Peters. That is one of the first meetings with Democrats.
It's nothing personal. It's just good business.
I didn't know that Mitch McConnell worked so well as an 1800s British naval captain in the Caribbean, but I'll be damned. He does look good in that role. Mitch McConnell, buddy, we're praying for you. Mitch McConnell had a little slip and fall yesterday, had emergency medical services run to his office, and so, you know, we wish for the best. We also want term limits, and we want the resignation of people who clearly don't have the capacity to serve their country right now. And so that's how we're starting today. We want for the American people to understand that there is one show, at least, there are some other very good guys that broadcast and that are in this business, that are going to fight for them and going to fight for the will of the American people. We are not going to be cowed by anonymous reports. We are not going to be cudgeled by the corporate press or by Democrats who are very upset about President Trump's picks. Of course they're upset about President Trump's picks. They want to be able to put Trump in prison. They authorized FBI agents to raid his house with kill orders. Of course they're upset about his picks. Of course John Bolton's going to write about Kash Patel in the Wall Street Journal last night. Who are you listening to? That's the ultimate question, ladies and gentlemen. Who does the Republican Senate answer to exactly? Because, in the real world, they should be answering to the voters of the Republican Party. And that's what we're going to talk about today with one of the greatest Republican senators, ladies and gentlemen, joining us right off the top of the show, Senator Tommy Tuberville. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Trump nominees continue to build momentum in the Senate, but some people are whispering about a secret plot to derail all of them. We'll see if there's evidence behind this. Again, Senator Tommy Tuberville will be joining us right away, along with some of the greatest ladies and gentlemen, patriots that exist in the country right now. Actor Nick Searcy will be on the show, and he's going to be talking to us about his new documentary, along with Chad Robenshow, who will be talking to us about Pete Hegseth and his service. Absolute American patriots, ladies and gentlemen. We're proud to have them all on this program. You are watching the fastest growing, most popular, and powerful streaming news show in the country. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. I want to begin with something very, very quickly. Jen Psaki. I don't want to play too much of this because I want to jump right into Senator Tuberville. But Jen Psaki made news last night by whispering that she knows that there's a bunch of Republican senators that are planning on backstabbing President Trump. They're going to voice that they support Kash Patel and they support Pete Hegseth, and then the corporate media is going to do a wrap-up smear, and they're going to suddenly say in the 9th hour, oh, they can't support them. This is the strategy. Let's have a listen.
There are two kind of interesting nerdy dynamics happening in Washington right now behind the scenes. Some of it's a little bit public.
Who chose this
angle?
angle?
To tell you that it's not business as usual, which I think is a very good thing. One is...
Okay, I want to just start here by saying that if you never want to sleep again, like imagine waking up and seeing that. Okay? If you never if the side effects for your Viagra last longer than 4 hours, you don't have to consult your doctor. Just stare at this. Okay, here we go. Continue.
Republican senators, not a lot of them, but enough of them are doing what I'm going to call quiet defiance, because basically they're not coming out publicly saying they're opposing nominees like Matt Gaetz or Pete Hegseth, which most are quiet about. Joni Ernst probably came the closest. But behind the scenes, what's clear is they are making clear to Trump's team they are not going to support this guy. So would it be better if it was public? Sure, so that they could explain to the public why they're opposed. But even doing this means they might be able to get rid of some of the most problematic nominees. Gaetz first. Hegseth is clearly on his way out. We'll see how long he lasts. I expect someone like Tulsi Gabbard maybe next. We will see.
Okay. First off, if I hated you, so we love you. First off, shout out to the chat. Freaking love the chat. All right, give me some Trump fights in the chat. If I hated you, here's how I do the show. If I hated you, if I didn't love it, I freaking love you, okay? But if I actually hated you, how I would do the show is like this, okay? I would look down through the camera lens and I go like death, and I tuck you like death. What the hell is wrong with you? Who are these people? What is wrong with them? You know what she looks like? She looks like Chucky. I think that our memes actually got to her. She actually looks like Chucky. She looks like the way that an evil Chucky doll would plot and scheme. Can we go back? Can we go back and forth? Show me. Look. Yeah, this is like she actually has become the meme. She's become the meme. Okay, well, you know what? This is why we do the show. This is why we do the show, because we have a psychological effect on these people. Now, this is Jen Psaki stating that she has sources telling her Republican Senate is going to backstab Trump. Now, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a great Republican senator who's an absolute alpha, a total Chad, a complete hero in the sports world, and also now in the political world, the great Senator Tommy Tuberville, to set the record straight. Senator Jen Psaki says that you all in the Senate are going to backstab Donald Trump and going to sabotage all of Trump's picks. And she has sources saying that it's all fake and that there's no real support for Donald Trump or his picks. Is that true?
Benny, I thought we were friends. You made me watch her. My God, what an idiot. And now, I will say this. We are struggling, we being the Republicans up here, to come to a decision that our country is in trouble. This is going to be our last chance, Benny. There's not going to be another chance. But you got several of these senators up here that are trying to be relevant. Oh, I'm going to do my due diligence. Wait a minute. The people of Alabama gave a referendum to me, said, you vote for whatever Donald Trump wants. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So these people from the senator from Alaska, Donald Trump wins Alaska, but she's going to play judge and jury over Donald Trump's picks. I don't understand this. I really don't. But at the end of the day, Jen, whatever that lady was, the red-haired lady, I can't even pronounce her name. Yeah, Chucky. She might have something there. I mean, she obviously is deep state, and she's probably hearing things that we don't hear, that the people that are on Donald Trump's side, that are on the American people's side, that are on America's side. And I've heard a few rumors that there's going to be some things come out from the mainstream media right before the hearings.
Yeah.
So we got to be very, very wary of that, because people up here kind of walk on eggshells, because you said we need term limits, but we don't have those. People want to stay up here forever. And we got to man up. We got to bow up to this deep state, Benny. It is showing its teeth as we speak. And if we don't get changes in the military, the DOJ, education, it's over. If we were to have a woke general going around right now saying, hey, we're going to keep on doing the same things in the military and we're the best ever, these same people that you just showed they're Republicans that are saying, hey, we're interviewing these, they'd already be on board. They'd be on board with that.
Yeah.
And folks, we cannot afford to do that again.
46 of your colleagues voted for Lloyd Austin, who we call DEI Darth Vader, to turn the military into a woke, lesbian, liberal arts faculty lounge. And it's really something. I can't live in a world, I don't understand a world where a senator from Iowa or from Alaska or from legitimate red states like Kentucky would ever dare slight not just Donald Trump, but let's just go back from a just pure Republic standpoint, their own voters, right? Like Kentucky votes for 20 points for Donald Trump. So in what universe do you say, do you spite your voters and say I'm wiser and better and smarter than them? It seems very disrespectful.
Benny, you hit it earlier. This is not about Pete Hegseth or Kash Patel or any of these people. This is about Donald Trump. This is about Donald Trump, that very few people on the Republican side up until 6 months ago were not really on his side until he won the nomination because they didn't think he could win. I was the first senator to come out, and I'm not bragging on that, but when he came out and said, I'm running, I said to myself, I even told my wife this, he's the only one that can save us, because I see all the shenanigans going on up here. He's a leader. He's not a politician. He's going to go straight for the throat. He's going to try to save the American people. I don't know whether he can do it. I don't know whether he can do it, but he's our only chance. He's the only one that I know on this universe right now that could try to straighten this mess out, that he could get enough people on his side to make this all work. But as we speak, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, they're up there trying to destroy everything going on, spend every dime that they could spend, get everything out the door, probably burning all the files they have, because when January 20th comes, they know they're in trouble. And, they could care nothing about this country. They hadn't cared anything for 4 years. Why should they start now?
Here's a photo of you and Kash Patel from, I think this was yesterday or at least earlier this week. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic photo. It has it's a video here. It's got your Miami football team, champion football team in the background there. It's great. So, I mean, I guess you say you're burning the files. You are located in Washington, D.C. Are there little smoke plumes all over the city from government agencies? Because it seems like Kash Patel is going to get it. Is that your takeaway from this meeting?
I think he will. Again, you never know what the deep state's going to do. This place up here now is very, very deep with people that have been here forever that want to continue to remain in power, Benny. And again, I tell you, the next month and a half is going to be very, very interesting because Donald Trump, he just wore them out at the polls. And just unfortunate for us. We should have won 2 or 3 more Senate seats, but yes. I think that was handled very well. At the end of the day, we lost them in the dark of the night 3 or 4 days later after your election.
Yep.
But again, that's deep state. That's what happened here in Washington, D.C. But it's time to fight. We're not going to have another chance. If we don't get it done this time with President Trump, it'll have to burn all the way to the ground, and our kids and grandkids will have to build it back the way that me and you have had the opportunity to live in this country.
Yeah, I know we're up against a hard out, but I just wanted to dig down on something that you said off the top here, that you're hearing rumors. So there are rumors that are going around the Senate that we're going to get another Kavanaugh round of, I can't believe anonymous sources say this horrible thing, whatever. Every pick is Genghis Khan, right?
Yeah.
Is that happening? Is that happening at Tulsi, RFK, Kash, Hegseth?
I think we'll see that probably with Pete and probably with Kash and probably with Tulsi. I don't think the other ones, but you've got a huge movement, Benny, that are totally against these people because, as you just said, they're going to expose everybody. They have no skin in the game. They want to expose it all. And the deep state can't allow that to happen. That's on both sides of the aisle. So I think you're going to see a huge fight come January. It's going to be very interesting. I'm right in the middle of it, and I'm going to fight like hell for President Trump and all of his nominees.
And in closing here, Mitch McConnell, we heard he had another fall yesterday. Do you have any status report on?
No, he just, he slipped and fell right outside of our door where we have a caucus lunch on Tuesday. I think he's doing fine, but he's going out. He's not the leader anymore, and John Thune's pretty much taken over as we speak. So, wish him well, but hope he's not hurt too bad. As you said, it's another day coming.
Yeah, that's right. Term limits and voter ID, the two most popular policies in the country. There's Gallup polling on this. Tens of thousands of Americans say term limits and voter ID are the two most single popular issues in the country. We really hope that we can get some of those passed this next Congress. And we know that you, Senator, you had an actual successful career outside of the Senate, which is very rare. And so congratulations. Who's going to win college football championship? And closing question, who's going to win this year?
Oregon. That's who I'm picking.
Oregon's it. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, go follow Tommy Tuberville. You can't go wrong. 110,000 people, Senator, on his way to 1 million, rocking and rolling. One of the true good guys in the Senate. Godspeed, Senator. Please come back and give us updates regularly.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ooh, that's scary. Obviously, Tuberville is one of those guys that shoots very, very straight. But he says that this is they're running an operation now. They're running the op. The op is real. It's a little concerning, to be honest with you. I worried about this from the moment I started seeing them stealing the Wisconsin Senate seat. There's this dude who's like super popular in Wisconsin. I still don't know how to pronounce his last name. He'd never been on the show, to our shame. Actually, we should have invited him on the show, and it's totally our fault. But to our great shame, he was never on the show. I watched this dude who's this is it Hodv? Is it Hodvi? Yeah, I can't remember. I'm like, wait a second. Why are they working so hard to take this Senate seat from this guy? What's going on exactly? And it becomes very simple with the math. There are only 3 rhino cucks in the Senate that are on their way out. They're all ancient, okay? They're all in their like 70s or 80s. Murkowski, Collins, and McConnell. And they are all the ones who would be voting, against. They could scuttle these nominees. Effectively, you would need Democrats then to start voting for RFK, Kash, Hegseth. You'd need to be able to pull in Democrats to win. So you have these 3 Senate seats with another senator. If you had one more senator, which this dude, guys, can I get a pronouncer on the guy in Wisconsin? Is it Hodvi? How do you pronounce his name? Guy rules. It's a kick-ass candidate. I hope that he said he was going to challenge the election, but it sounds like he's going to move on to other things. Maybe he'll become governor. But it's like him, Sam Brown in Nevada should have won. Same thing. Counting until kingdom come. Count until the Democrat wins. Same thing. Sam Brown would have been backing Donald Trump's picks. Hovdi. Okay. We'll see. Hovdi. Same thing in Michigan. I think that Michigan would have been a little more testy. But you had a guy named Mike Rogers who I think would have been better than Lisa Murkowski. I think. We'll see. I would have taken another Republican seat from Michigan though, instead of Elise Stolken, former CIA asset. True. Absolutely true. Worked at the CIA. But every one of these races, Every one of these races had these middle of the night ballot dumps until they get their result. It's sick. It's despicable. I wish we had fought harder, because if we had one more, I'm not trying to doom anyone, but if we had one more rock-ribbed senator, then McConnell, Murkowski, and Collins, it wouldn't even matter, right? You just need 51. You just need 51. Anyway, yeah, it does make you, it's like, wait a second, they were running an op. They were clearly running an op to keep that little squishy core of like old, feeble degenerates. I'm sorry, but like listen, Mitch McConnell, we've played it before. I don't know if we have a McConnell block. Do we? Do we have a McConnell block, ALX, today? Mitch McConnell had another slip and fall, bashed his head on a desk. I have never in my life wished for anybody to have any type of physical injury, and I won't. I don't care. My worst political enemies, I won't. Can we just grab some of that news and play some of these clips of McConnell? Just the OC from yesterday, Danny. I'm never going to wish any harm on anyone. I want every American to live in peace and happiness, and I don't care what you think. I'm not the kind of person. All right? That's what separates us from the orcs, separates us from the monsters. The left are the one like squeeing and overjoyed with the fact that a healthcare CEO got shot in the head. The guy was a father. I don't care what he did. He's a dad, a husband. The left were the ones squeeing over that. They're celebrating it. You know, like, you must separate yourself from the animals. We're not going to cheer for any of that. But I can say this as an American, as somebody who does this professionally and wishes for a result for my children. Mitch McConnell, who's in his 82, Mitch McConnell clearly is not has no capacity to actually currently be serving in the Senate. Period. Remember Dianne Feinstein? Was it Dianne Feinstein who at 90 just died in the Senate? She just keeled over? Her staffers were voting for her? She died in the Senate. Is that really how you want your loved one to go? We have a clip of it. Dianne Feinstein, like, her staffers like raising her hand and voting for her. She doesn't know who she is, where she is. She dies in the Senate. Is that the kind of government that our founders wanted? Do you know the average age of a founder who signed the Declaration of Independence was like 28? Those are the kind of people who make a society, build a society, have ownership of the society because they have little children. They want to create and leave a better world for them. I will leave. The most alpha motivation in the world. You stand in front of your, shower mirror every single morning and you say, I will leave a better world for my children. And you make that your charge. And you set that about your heart, and then you fight you fight the systems of the world and powers of the world to ensure that result. When you're this old, when you're Mitch McConnell, you've lost that fight. All you have left, when you're Joe Biden, you've lost that fight. Joe Biden didn't pardon Hunter. Joe Biden pardoned himself, sick bastard. When you're this old, you've lost your fight. You've lost your centering, your motivation. Your motivation becomes selfish. You become twisted and old, set for a nursing home, fit for a nursing home, and not for running some of those powerful decisions and some of the most important decisions through Congress, ramming them through Congress, like Mitch McConnell did with Joe Biden's agenda. Mitch McConnell hugging Joe Biden on the campaign trail. He literally did that. We have the photo. McConnell falls at Capitol, receives medical treatment. Fine. Not going to cheer for something bad to happen to him. I'm simply going to stretch out the proof that Mitch McConnell isn't fit to serve. The dude, this is like his 4th or 5th fall. Last time he broke his ribs and had a concussion. He concussed and had to go into the hospital. You got these photos of him with these blackened hands and bruises all over his face? No, it's other photos. Just go. No. Klein, wait for the producers to send them in. Guys, plow through with some of these photos of McConnell. Dude's like the gun's snapped. Here he is with Joe Biden. Look at that. There's your Republican leader. This is the guy who's going to stand and this guy is going to he is going to physically vote against every one of President Trump picks. And we're going to show you this photo. Get used to this photo. Look at this. Look at his hands. Look at that. Freaking Voldemort. Look at his hands. Yeah, zoom in. The logo's blocked. Oh, that's good. Yeah, look at that. Holy smokes. Apparently bashed his head open yesterday. He was bleeding from his head. He just was walking and he just fell over a table. Really? You can't walk? He hadn't, look, here's what happened. I talked with my nurse wife and she explained what happened. He had another seizure. Dude's had like multiple on-camera seizures. This is like the clawing of the grave, like clawing from the grave, trying to hold back the future. It is the sickest possible behavior. Just taking a second to like think about what McConnell's doing here. Think about it. Can you get that clip of him having the seizure loaded up? This one's the bad one. That one. Okay, so we have the photos from yesterday. We actually have the photos from yesterday. Let's put those up. We can put up the actual photos. And we'll watch this. Look at that. Holy smokes. They have to staple his hand? Oh my gosh. Staple his hand and then he's a massive bandage on his face. Busted up his face. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. Like, I'm Mitch McConnell's best friend in the world right now. Mitch McConnell needs to resign. He needs to go home. He needs to spend whatever time he has left with his loved ones. All right? If those exist. Mitch McConnell should not be in the Senate making big decisions for the rest of us and for the future of our children who he won't ever see the consequences of those. The worst way to make a decision, the worst way to make any type of decision, financial or otherwise, is if you bear zero responsibility for the outcome of that decision. Mitch McConnell will not be around to see the results of his inflationary spending, of the money given to Ukraine, of his the border policies and all the like bloated infrastructure spending that he did with Joe Biden. He won't be around. That's a terrible motivation. It's awful. And as the window of your life begins to narrow, 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 and then closes shut, you become more and more selfish. It's just the way it works. So it's a horrible way to run a country. And you can see it. It's not just McConnell. Nancy Pelosi's 84 years old. Chuck Schumer's in his 80s. Bernie Sanders is going to be 90 by the end of his term. He's going to be 90 years old. And he made news yesterday announcing he's not running again. We'll see if that holds up. 90-year-old guy running again for Senate. No, man. Our government's broken, dude. It's broken. Just really quickly, here's Mitch McConnell. Here's what I'm telling you. What happened yesterday was he had another seizure. Here's Mitch McConnell having a seizure on camera. We act like this video doesn't exist.
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
He goes,
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
Not trying to make fun of him, okay?
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
There's always some wicked battle axe staffer who comes in here and acts like the press is the problem. And then she has to call in security. Then they cut the mics. Look at this. Here's the people making decisions for your country. What a fraudulent system we live in. That's somebody like that. And then, of course, we've all seen Joe Biden. The staffer then blames the press. Oh, man. Oh, man. What a mess. What a mess. And this is the guy who's going to, stop. This is the guy who's going to claw out from the grave, literally claw up from the grave, and try and hold back Trump's agenda. Try and sabotage Trump's agenda, according to Jen Psaki. It is sick. It's the most immoral thing you can do. To leave a country worse off than you found it. Mitch McConnell literally his generation lucked their way, falling ass backwards because of the sacrifices of other greater generations than them into the greatest era of American wealth and prosperity. We're going to try and build another one in spite of Mitch McConnell, but we have to fix all the things Mitch McConnell did, which was inflate the currency to make him rich. His grandchildren be damned. It is the definition of an immoral generation that does that. Sorry, it is. And you should hang your head in a bag if you ever voted for Mitch McConnell or ever supported him or supported any of the criminals in Washington, D.C. that created this environment that we're going to have to save my children from. Okay? So now it's us. We're going to have to do the next greatest generation thing and get out from underneath this debt, create an economy that actually roars again and that isn't parasitic like Mitch McConnell. So I put that image back up on screen. I'm gonna do the great. I'm Mitch McConnell's best friend on earth. Okay, I'm the best friend he's got. I'm gonna wish Mitch McConnell well and say resign now. Do the right thing. Resign today. Give your seat to somebody like Rand Paul. You know, Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell are from the same state. What the hell's going on there? Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell represent the same state. Fun. Democracy is a funny thing, isn't it? Yeah. It's more like eternal corruption. Mitch McConnell's been serving since the 70s, just like Joe Biden. Get him out. Give your seat to somebody like a Rand Paul. There's plenty of great Kentuckians who would take that seat and would actually represent their state. Enough of this. You want to talk about threats to democracy? That's a threat to democracy. When you have somebody who doesn't represent their people, doesn't represent their voters. Goodness gracious. What a mess. Donald Trump wins Alaska by 1 billion points, yet Lisa Murkowski says this about Trump's picks.
I had a good exchange with Mr. Hegseth.
Are you ready to support him?
I had a good exchange, and we'll see what the process bears.
What more are you looking to learn?
Well, he's got probably at least half the Senate that he's going to visit with. He's got a process that is going to involve full vetting through the administration and then ultimately a committee.
Yeah. You remember Joni Ernst? Well, I had a very frank conversation with Pete Hegseth. That's it. That's what she posted, right? Meanwhile, she's taking selfies with Kamala Harris. She's from Iowa, which, like, the pigs in Iowa get to vote. I'm from Iowa. I know this. We literally register pigs, and they vote, and they all voted Trump, okay? It's amazing. Actually, ALX will back me up on this. Some of the best bacon you can eat is at Trump properties. Freaking, like, sizzling bacon. Oh, my gosh, it's so good. Donald Trump, a man who literally loves his pork. Not pork spending. Literal, actual pork, okay, the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, the point is that Iowa voted for Trump by a gajillion point, like millions of, there's not that many people in Iowa. And they all voted for Trump. There's 99 counties. Trump won 94 out of 99 counties in Iowa. And Joni Ernst has the audacity to vote against Trump. Now, we were able to pull that one back into the stable, if you know what I mean. Ted Cruz saying all of Trump's nominees for cabinet are going to be confirmed. Good to hear. Let's hear.
Great to be back. What do you make of the pressure campaign we've seen on Senator Joni Ernst? Because I know you take this process seriously of the nominees, but do you think it's fair that someone should be, threatened with a primary just because they're not totally committed to a nominee yet?
Look, I think the voters are going to express their views. That's politics, and I believe that people have a right to say that. I also believe in the Senate confirmation process. So, every one of the nominees, I think all of Trump's nominees for the cabinet at least are going to be confirmed.
Every single one?
I do. But now, look, you've got 53 Republicans in the Senate, and I think most Republican senators begin from a proposition that the president is entitled to choose his cabinet nominees. Now, there is a back and forth on it. I mean, Trump did withdraw Matt Gaetz, and that was after a number of senators pressed back. And so the advice and consent is part of the Constitution. It's an important role. But at the end of the day, and by the way, when Joe Biden was president, that's the same way Democrats approached it, which is they voted to confirm whoever he put up.
It's very interesting. Ted Cruz is himself a Senate scholar and a constitutional scholar, and he's argued before the Supreme Court before. He went to Harvard. He's a smart guy. Ted Cruz knows that going back 5 decades, only 2 cabinet picks have been voted against by the president's own party. 2. 5 decades of history. So where is the precedent here? You go back and read the Constitution. The Constitution said advise and consent. Well, advise and consent doesn't mean sabotage and destroy. Everything's broken. It's broken. And you're seeing reaching out from the grave, The deep state's already dead. Okay, we've got the shovel. We're burying them, and you got some ghosts. Okay, we're gonna have to go ghost hunting here. Some of these senators freaking look like. Lisa Murkowski looks like a ghost. I mean, it looks like frail. It looks like 28 Days Later trailer. It's not good, but I believe we will win. Rick Scott is my senator. I think we'll be hanging out this weekend with our next senator, Laura Trump. More to come on that. But Rick Scott saying no. Pete Hegseth will be confirmed. I like the certitude here.
Oh, he's going to get confirmed. I mean, let's look at his background. As people get to know him, they want to support him. Here's a guy that's a combat veteran. He's led the troops into battle. He knows what it's like to lead troops into battle. He knows what it's like to know somebody that lost their life, know somebody that's been injured. He's been an unbelievable supporter of our veterans since he got out of the service. He loves, like the president said, he loves our military. He's going to make sure we have a lethal military that our enemies are scared to death of and our allies respect. He's going to get rid of the woke policies because he knows when he goes to battle, he wants to have the best men and women around him. And he knows the importance of not just sending men and women to battle willy-nilly. And don't send them into harm's way willy-nilly because guess what? Bad things can happen. So I think he's a great nominee. I'm glad President Trump chose him, and he's going to be confirmed.
I'm not trying to scaremonger. I am trying to say that these are real threats that we are day and night on our phone call, like on calls or text messages, late into the evening, talking with the people who are making these decisions, and they're saying this is as real as a heart attack. They're planning on Kavanaughing as many of them as they can. Now, why? Why? Take a step back and ask yourself. It is a matter of life and death for these people. John Bolton last night wrote a op-ed about Kash Patel. Can we put that up? Can we put our takedown of that up, ALX? I know I'm asking for quite a bit here, but I appreciate it. And he raised this takedown of Kash Patel. So who the hell's John Bolton, right? John Bolton should be playing the character in, who's the character in Doctor Who? Dr. Seuss, who loves the trees, who's with the giant mustache. What character is that? Come on! It's the guy who loves the tree. The Lorax. Thank you. John Bolton should be auditioning for the Lorax. Okay, that should be his only goal in life. Should be how does he make the Lorax live action film happen? That's it. That's all John Bolton's good for anymore. He's a neocon, warmonger, disgraced. And he wrote, there it is, perfect. Thank you. Okay, there it is. In case you're unfamiliar, here we go. This is all John Bolton. He actually has a very similar physique. His looks, I don't know. Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two photos. I don't know. They're the same picture, right? John Bolton should be doing nothing other than going to confession and begging for forgiveness for all of the lives around the globe that his warmongering, degenerate, neocon, bloodthirsty, throne of skulls policies that he's pushed that enrich him and enrich his defense contractor buddies and destabilize the globe. He should be just asking forgiveness, quite frankly. He should spend his waning days doing that. But instead he's writing op-eds against Kash, saying, Kash can't be FBI director. That's the op-ed. So here's the tweet. We put it up. There's a couple things wrong with this. One, he doesn't even know the roles that Kash has held in the government when he was National Security Council, when he was NSC. So this is how poorly researched this all is. That the closer you get up, thank you, I knew that was coming. The closer you get, and you can pop that up anytime. The closer you get, because it's perfect. There you go. Thank you. This is how great the team is. We didn't know we were going to do this. This is like, you think we script these things out? No. This is how great the team is here. This is why you subscribe. Subscribe to the show. John Bolton is an Iraq war neocon. He got fired by Trump. He should be spending his waning days, again, in a confessional booth on his knees begging for forgiveness for the horrors that he's wrought upon the world and the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of innocent people that he's slaughtered. But instead, this guy is going out against Kash Patel. Now, he gets all these things wrong in his article, and we rip him a new one on X. But really, it's not about Kash, is it? It's about a different type of Kash. It's about John Bolton's relevancy. Because, you see, when anti-war Donald Trump and anti-corruption Kash Patel get into the chair, the gig's up. The grift is over. The music stops. For warmongers like John Bolton, they no longer have seats on the board of these think tanks. They no longer get book deals. They no longer have foreign nations paying them off. It's the Clinton Foundation all over again. It's a fraud. The grift is over. And so they're literally screaming like demons, fighting for dear life. This post actually did pretty well. It's like, great. This is what we're doing. We're out like defending. We're out defending these people. And guess what? This was read by more people than John Bolton's stupid op-ed. This is what a beautiful world. This is 200,000 views and nearly 5,000 likes. It's kind of nerdy. We go down the rabbit hole. But he uses Fiona Hill as like a character witness, the lady who ran the Ukraine impeachment scheme against Donald Trump in a hoax. That's it. That's how sad these people are right now. This is how sad this movement has become. And Republican senators who cow to this kind of stuff will show everybody exactly how the system works. Republican senators that bury their head and shiver and shake on anonymous reports or because warmongering neocons with blood on their hands say, oh, this is going to dry up our defense contracts. We won't be able to do permanent, forever, victoryless wars across the globe. Again, you'll show us exactly who you are. And I'm telling you, there is not a dollar in my bank account that I won't donate to your primary opponents. We will unite and we will take the greatest force of power of influence that you have ever seen. It will smite and salt the earth. The blackened, darkened skies and vultures will swoop down upon your campaign headquarters, and you will say, yea, woe unto me, the day that I decided to vote against these Trump nominees. The earth has been salted, and the seas turned to blood. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be pretty for these Republicans who decide to play this game. You'll show us exactly who your true masters are, and the true masters of this program and what we're building here are the people of this country. And this America First movement is the most powerful movement that we've ever seen in my lifetime, and it could actually save this nation. And we're not going to suffer you standing in the way of it so that you can get a Raytheon payout, so you can get a couple extra points in your Lockheed portfolio. No, those days are over. Okay? We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really, really excited to welcome onto the program somebody who has stood very bravely against that same system, against these neocons that are so actively trying to sabotage our nation. And somebody who did maybe the bravest thing I've seen in my life. I mean, this side of Donald Trump getting shot in the head and then literally staring down his assassin with a defiant message. Like, that's about it. That's it. But it's the same type of bravery. It's standing up against a machine, a dangerous machine, that you know could destroy you. And that could really, truly threaten your life. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Sheller is someone who made a video that went viral on the internet, on YouTube, and he demanded accountability for the Afghanistan withdrawal that was suicidal in nature and killed innocent and great Americans. And he knew that what would happen is that he'd be cast to the wolves, and that his military career would be over. But Stuart Sheller had the bravery and the temerity to say, no, this is wrong. And we're very excited to get his take on Pete Hegseth and on the lack of courage in the Republican Senate right now. Stuart Sheller joins the program live now. It's such an honor to have you on the show, man. Been a fan of yours for quite a while, and I'm really excited to hear your perspective on a Pete Hegseth running the military. The reason why is because I don't think there would have been an Afghanistan withdrawal in the same nightmarish and suicidal way if Pete Hegseth had been in charge. Well, what say you?
100%. I'm 100% behind Pete Hegseth. I spent the last couple of days lobbying for him. Everyone that I spoke to is behind him. That the actual veterans 100% want Pete. So I've talked to Scott Mann. I've talked to the Black Rifle Coffee guys. I've talked to Matthew Lohmeyer. I mean, everyone, even the sitting battalion commanders. I mean, Pete's obviously a smart guy, Princeton, Harvard. He's a great orator on Fox and Friends, but more importantly, he's an outsider. He's not like all the general officers that are going to get a board seat on one of the military industrial complexes.
We might have lost Stuart's connection there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pop him off, and we're going to hope to reconnect. Sometimes that happens. I think the gentleman is, I think the lieutenant colonel is joining us from his home. Let's see if we can't get him back, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of your home, American Financing, ladies and gentlemen, is here to make your holidays even better. Who doesn't need a little extra scratch during the holidays in their bank accounts? I know I certainly do. My wife is going through Christmas presents for what we're going to get the kiddos this year. Holy smokes, kids are expensive. That's just as expensive. Ladies and gentlemen, American Financing can help you today during your holidays. If you're a homeowner, American Financing can help you unlock the equity in your home and start saving. Their customers are saving $800 a month. Just imagine how much that could help your family. It's been a tough couple of years, a lot of debt for a lot of people. Get out from under that debt with American Financing. Call American Financing today, 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219, AmericanFinancing.net/Benny, NMLS 182334, and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we have Stuart Sheller back. Do we, Killer Klein? If not, then we rock and we roll. Okay. So as we effort Stuart to hop back in, I did want to say that we were going to talk about this. Military personnel are planning a march for Pete Hegseth. I will be at that march. We'll go. We'll either send a reporter or I'll go myself. I am not a veteran. I will march for Pete. Be freaking awesome. Dozens of military veterans and members who directly serve with Pete Hegseth are pushing for the nominee to be confirmed for the next Defense Secretary. A letter obtained exclusively by the Daily Caller, you can see here. And these are the people that served with him. We, the undersigned, served directly with Pete Hegseth in the U.S. military, early either in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, Afghanistan, and various other fronts. We come from all ranks. Different experiences, but we have one core thing in common. We fully support Pete Hegseth's nomination to be the next Defense Secretary. His selfless leadership, love of his soldiers, commitment to the country is unparalleled, and his tireless dedication to those things never stopped or wavered. He is a fighter, and we will stand with this fighter. It's wonderful, wonderful to see. We've been in communication with Pete, his family, with his friends, his colleagues. Will Kane was on the show just a couple days ago. And there's a reason why they're fighting so hard against Pete Hegseth. That the weakening of America must happen from our Pentagon. They must have a weak America in order to take over the world. And by the they, we mean the World Economic Forum, the globalists and tyrants who wish to control us and all of our lives, like end Earth and freedom as we know it. They cannot have a strong and resolute American military. Without that, without that, they can cause chaos and seed chaos throughout the world and cause wars. They can sink us into unpayable, untenable debt. And debt and forever war is how the Roman Empire collapsed. Is how every empire throughout all time history has collapsed from within. So they must have a weakened, low IQ, degenerate Pentagon with pagan policies that actually repulse war-fighting young men who are Christian and from the heartland and who want to serve their nation. They're not going to sign up for that. So that's how you weaken America and how you destroy it. Debt, forever war, weaken the military, foreign invasion. That's it. That's how you get rid of boom, Roman Empire, gone. Okay? That's how you do it. So that's the strategy. And that's why they're fighting so hard against Pete. Taking a step back, this is why we must destroy this tactic. They're Kavanaughing Pete right now. Okay? Some anonymous lady said some anonymous thing, like from a decade ago. Okay, that's settled. So what do you want? You're going to let these anonymous reports from people who hate you. I'm speaking to you, Republican senators, you, Murkowski, Collins. You're going to let these anonymous reports be louder and stronger than this report, than these men who served with Pete. This is what Republicans are telling us. That they trust anonymous reports from propaganda outlets that hate us more than the actual signatures and the voices of the real people who served with Pete Hegseth. That's what they're saying. So that's, first off, that's very disrespectful to the military. And then on a tertiary level, what you're saying is that you hate your Republican voters because Donald Trump says Pete Hegseth, and you're saying, no, I'm smarter and wiser. Bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off for you. Okay. I think that Sheller is back. Let's try it again. Rock and roll. Lieutenant Colonel Steve Sheller is back. What's up, dude? It happens sometimes. You know what I mean? It's live.
Apologies. I got Starlink. It started raining, but I appreciate you having me on.
That's amazing. Yes, Starlink. This is how it works, man. It's amazing. Okay, so and I love it. It looks like you're in the clubhouse. You got the Christmas tree in the background. Christmas present for the American military would certainly be having a warfighter in charge. Is this correct?
100%. So Pete Hegseth, very intelligent guy, Harvard, Princeton, great orator on Fox News. But the most important thing is that he's an outsider. He's from our generation. He's got combat experience. Every general officer of my generation has gone and sat on the board of Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon. I mean, it's systemic, right? And so Pete understands that. Pete knows that the military has to get back to a meritocracy. I've been saying for a while that we needed somebody younger. Pete's the absolute right guy. He wrote the book, Waging War on Warriors. If you read it, he outlines all the problems and the way we need to go. And every veteran that I've talked to, I mean, anyone who's who in the zoo, whether it's Scott Mann, Matthew Lohmeyer, Black Rifle Coffee guys, Eddie Gallagher, I've been calling all these guys for the last couple of days. The congressmen that I really respect, whether it's Brian Mast, Corey Mills, spoke to both of them in the last couple of days. Everybody supports Pete. So to not confirm him would just baffle the mind. We're all out here as a veteran community trying to lobby support for him. So we really hope that we can get this through because it's important. If the DOD is rotting right now on the inside, and if we don't fix it, I mean, there's a lot of things going wrong with America right now, but the crumbling of the military could overshadow all of them. It's one of those critical things that not everyone fully understands how bad it's gotten, and we absolutely need new leadership.
So you're telling me that the war fighters, not the fat armchair generals who couldn't do a push-up, the actual war fighters, that they have Pete's back. I mean, that should really ring. That should ring in the ears of any of these squishy senators.
I can't find a single warfighter that doesn't support Pete, to be quite honest with you. I was calling sitting battalion commanders in the Marine Corps the last couple of nights. Every one of them want Pete. All of them are going to get out after their command tour, which these are the guys the military should keep, but they're so disheartened by the direction. But there's like a sliver of hope if Pete gets in that we might move in the direction of a meritocracy and not everything's fair and we're watering down on a million different initiatives that aren't lethality. We need to get back to a performance-based system, and I think Pete has all the right tools and the solutions to get there.
Before we move on to a tertiary subject here, can you give a message to these senators who are very squishy? We just played Lisa Murkowski, who's one of them. Joni Ernst just came around, I think, because actually of the work that we've done, and also because Joni Ernst has an indefensible record where she voted for DEI Darth Vader, who's currently running the military. But some of these senators are still squishy. You can still get 3 senators voting against and put Pete in a very tough position, right, where you have to win over Democrats or J.D. Vance has to come in and tiebreak. What's your message to them?
I would say we the people that have served in the last 2 decades of war, many of these senators have voted for these wars. We resoundingly want Pete Hegseth. We need him. The military right now is at a place where not only is recruiting crumbling, going down by 30% amongst conservatives, and we're actually moving the goalposts and making recruiting smaller so it doesn't look as bad as it is. The attrition that is happening is because of the mismanagement and the poor policy decisions of the last 2 decades. And Pete Hegseth is the guy that we need to get back on track. And if they support the military at all, they have to come around and support Pete Hegseth. They're not listening to us. We as veterans, I don't represent any organization. I'm not a politician. I am a warfighter, and I speak to a lot of warfighters, and we all want Pete Hegseth.
Yes. And the reason why is because the military should be about lethality and should be about winning wars and not about propaganda, degeneracy, and pagan ideology.
I've heard Pete say, he said the thing that is said in the military a lot is diversity is our strength. That's not the truth. The meritocracy is our strength. being the best performer on the team is our strength. So we don't care who you are as long as you can make the standard, but there has to be standards and we have to create the best team. We need to create a winning organization, and Pete understands that, and that's why it's so important to get him.
Yes. So this is a question that I have, and I'd love to be a part of it. If this is being organized, everyone can watch this little live group chat we're having right now in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Is there going to be a march? I want the march, right? I would love that look, right, of all these war fighters, all these famous veterans.
Do you know something? Because I swear to God, I haven't told anyone. It's supposed to come out today. So the answer to this is yes, there will be. It's not a march. Next Wednesday, so Congress gets out on Thursday. Next Wednesday, there will be a group of veterans walking through the U.S. Senate. I will be a part of it. All of that's going to come out today. But that's why I've been on the phone the last 3 days. Now, I know everyone's watching this, and we know Pete is kind of on the fence, but I want to make sure that our voices are heard all the way up to the end. I can't maybe convince every senator what to do, but I want them to know everything we're talking about. The war fighters support Pete, and we're going to walk through, advocate, articulate. We're not protesting. We can make some pretty sound arguments. I would submit that any senator that wants to get in a room with me and talk about lethality and talk about the military and talk about the direction of where we're going, I will beat anyone in a debate. And I look forward to those conversations with all of their staffs.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's less of a march, it's more of a larger scale lobbying operation.
Yeah, well, so I thought about doing the march, but the problem is you can't control the bad actors nowadays. So it's like one and the other, right? So everyone meets, and then it's like these thousands of people that would love to be there, but then it may not even be our people. You get people that plan it in there and do bad things, and it usurps the whole message. Yeah. And so as a control of that, I chose not to do that.
Okay. That makes a ton of sense. We've covered the guys who were BLM activists that were leading the charge on January 6th. And you can't control these guys got found guilty on all 7 counts. I mean, this is real. These are BLM Antifa activists who have been unmasked and who are now in federal prison as BLM activists, and they were the first guys through the wall on January 6th. So it's very fraught actually doing this in Washington, D.C. So I understand that. If there's a way to do it, Pete won't have a confirmation hearing process until the 20th. Maybe in January. Maybe there's a way to do it in a controlled manner, right? Where it's more of like less of a march and more of like a rally there on the mall, and we can show the amount of support. But I'd love to be a part of it. It'd be freaking awesome, man. Yeah. We can put something together, maybe closer up to his actual confirmation, close to his confirmation hearing. Get a bunch of senators to speak at it in favor of Pete. It'd be freaking great. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Good. So Pete's confirmation hearing will start on January 20, 2025. Probably as soon as Trump takes his hand off the Bible, they're going to go in and start. SecDef is one of the first positions that they put in. Are you gonna be there for the confirmation hearing? You plan on like being there by Pete's side?
I'm not sure. Pete's a friend. I'm just 100% supporting him. Whether I'll be at the confirmation or not, I'm not sure. But I'm running in a lot of circles that are behind the scenes, trying to do everything we can. Do what you can when you can. And I know once Pete gets confirmed, that a lot of the right people are going to get put in the right places. So we need Pete.
Sweet. That's so awesome, man. Are you considering ever? I don't really know how it works. Like, would you consider going back into the service?
I would absolutely consider being in an administration with Pete Hegseth.
So cool. That's amazing. And it's like Biden ran you out because you dared criticize Afghanistan.
It wasn't just Biden. It was all the military officers that lack courage and they don't have the ability to push back because they're more worried about their self-advancement. And that's where the decay of the military really exists.
Yes. Do you agree, in closing here, do you agree with some of the ideas that have been floated out there to put prohibitions on generals going and working immediately for large defense companies?
I can't believe that's not a law already. And you would think that it would be just self-governed by the military. That doesn't happen. You would think that there would be some officer that held themselves accountable for Afghanistan. That didn't happen. Donahue just got his 4th star. Farrell Sullivan, the one that left the Abbey Gate open, he's still serving, still advancing. McKenzie's hiding down in Florida, getting a whole wing built for him. You would think one of these guys would say, you know what, you're right. This is a long list of obvious mistakes, but that's just not been the case. So the military officers have demonstrated that they can't govern themselves. I mean, Carter Ham in Benghazi, he's sitting in Germany, watching as Americans are fighting 1v1000. He has 7 military options and he's told to stand down. What does he do? That's a moral courage case study that we can't talk about in the military. But the truth is we have senior military officers that get to those positions because they're people pleasers. And then when they get there, that's who we create. They just have no ability to push back. And it's really, I think, creating cracks in the soul of America because we're losing trust in them.
Cracks in the soul of America. You're exactly right. So, such a great point to end on here, Stu. I mean, I know the chat's going to tear me to pieces for this. I want to trust the FBI. Like, how else do I say it? I want to trust the Pentagon. I do, because I'm an American, and I got nothing. I must assume. I want to assume that there's somebody watching in the dark of night over my children, and that there's a crime-fighting organization that's going to like stop the chaos and rot inside of this society. Like, I want that. And I think that can happen in my lifetime. I think we can actually restore these institutions to doing what they were meant to do, which is solving crimes, being lethal, killing bad guys, and locking them up. And I think that that's how you do it, and you do it through transparency. And I'm so glad you said that. You do it through apologizing and through saying we were wrong, man. Like, we got it wrong. That's like the first step in restoring trust.
That is the first step. And you brought up Kash Patel. I want to give one shout out. There's an FBI agent, Steve Friend. And he resigned on some very morally courageous grounds. He's the only one that I've seen it in my generation. If Kash gets in, Steve Friend has to be brought back, in my opinion. And I just want to put that out there.
He's our boy. He was repping Kash hard in the paint, bro, on the program, on the stream, just like a couple days ago. So Steve Friend's a dude. Absolutely. We could change everything, and we could restore faith if you were just honest with the American people. Enough lies. God bless you. Where can people find your work? We're going to put up your X account right now.
Yeah. So AuthenticAmericans.com is my website. It's basically like a brochure of all the op-eds I've written and different things, and it links to all my social media. But like I said, so you're outcycling me here. This is going to come out. I have a landing page for what we're going to do, so you can check out my website now. But there's going to be a video and a couple more news hits that are going to come out today. And essentially, next Wednesday, we plan to have small groups walk through the halls of the U.S. Senate and advocate and articulate for the person that we need to lead the Secretary of Defense, which would be Pete Hegseth.
Good. Maybe you can find out. Maybe Pete Hegseth can explain to us what's going on with all the drones over New Jersey and Philadelphia and America. Sure would like to know what the hell is going on. Please tell us what's going on. Like, that's pretty. Don't we fund you? Isn't this like the point? Yeah, aren't we shareholders in this whole thing? Yeah, exactly. The chat's screaming about it, so we're gonna keep asking. We're gonna keep asking those questions. Hey, Alex, let's pin it. Let's pin something up to the chat about it. Stuart Sheller, God bless you, man. I hope Pete pulls you in, man. I hope the next time we meet is in the Pentagon, brother.
Same.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To talk about these drones. Producers are in the chat telling me that everybody wants to see us talk. We were planning on doing like a news read about them today. I have all this footage saved on my phone. So we're going to put together something here live on the show. Why? Well, because it's your show, actually. Like, it's not my show, it's our show together. And this is what we're building together. Like, this is the single show on Earth that you can literally control it. By asking, we read the chat day and night. I have producers that watch the chat at all times. And if there's something that like we're missing, let us know. I believe that so it's connected, in fact. What if we don't get Pete? What if we don't get Kash? We will never find out what the hell's actually going on with these UFOs. There are UFOs that are flying all over New Jersey. Some are over Philly. Some are over New York. There's reports of them everywhere. We don't shy away from this coverage. There are some people, I'll name them, Tucker Carlson, who's told me he doesn't want to cover this stuff anymore because he believes he knows what it is. He thinks that it's a spiritual and demonic activity, and it's just like he's convinced of it, and it scares him. That's what Tucker's told us. I'm going to keep covering it. We're happy to cover it. We're planning on covering it today. My producers are loading it up right now. So let us load that up, and we'll do a bunch of breaking news about what's actually going on, because we're starting to get some pretty shocking footage. I mean, I'll play you just one. Killer Klein, can we do this as a play beside right here? This one right here. And then we're gonna go and chat with with an absolute and total G, Nick Searcy, who's gonna tell us about the incredible documentary that he's done on January 6th political prisoners. Okay, so we're gonna load up UFO. We're gonna do a big block on UFOs after this. We'll do it live, right? We'll do it live. Here we go. Here's footage. What the hell is this? This is Trump's golf course. This is Trump's golf course. What the hell is that exactly? Somebody explain that to me. We have absolutely zero indication. We know the account that posted this. It's just like a, it's a dude. We have zero indication that somebody's trying to like punk us. This is one of like many dozens of videos like this that nobody could explain. Now, some people, Mark Dice and others, have said, what's going to happen is they're going to stage a fake alien invasion to try and, this is just one of their dirty tricks that they're going to use to try and punk Trump and to try and like steal Trump's swagger and create a emergency that's going to take away, from Trump's agenda. You can't cut government spending, right? If the aliens invade, right? It's creepy, man. And like, could anybody have predicted COVID? Like, they clearly cooked that up in a lab just for this time, just for this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, very interesting. You want to cook something up pretty spicy in a lab? Let me tell you what. I got a little something percolating every single morning. It's my blackout coffee in my coffee pot. It is illegal. It is not made in Wuhan. It's made right here in America. Frickin' American coffee. Made here in the state of Florida by a great family, a wonderful family that knows American family values. Coffee is 100% American, 0% grift. It's something that I drink every single day, and I'm very sad that I am completely out today. Got a little bit. You hear that? Got a little bit left. I go through probably about a pot of coffee a day. I don't do anything else. I don't take anything else. That's it. So when I'm losing my mind on the show, like I have been today, it's because of Blackout Coffee. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Get the energy to fight the commies. 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Makes a great stuffer. Be awake, not woke. You can also find them on Public Square. Promo code Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody who we have been a massive fan of for quite a long time. Somebody who's a Hollywood actor and a legend in his own in his own right, who's decided to take his skills in storytelling and apply them to possibly the most important story that could possibly be told, which is the search for truth. It's an age-old story. It's a story that is such an important moment, having an important moment as we redefine our vectors of truth, as shows like this grow and expand, as we break the shackles of those who have lied to us. The War on Truth is the movie. Nick Searcy is the actor, producer, and director. And ladies and gentlemen, Nick Searcy on the program live now. You're a good guy, but you play such a good bad guy. That's my problem, Nick.
Yeah. Well, that's my joke. I've made a living playing Democrats, so I'm trying a lot of bad guys.
So I would love to. I'd love to just kick off and start talking about the movie. I mean, honestly, man, it was the first time we met was at that Daily Wire Terror on the Prairie, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't follow up on that movie. I'm just telling you that you play such a good bad guy. It's hard because I know you're a good guy. You were killing it in that one.
Well, thank you. That was a lot of fun. The Daily Wire gave me an opportunity in that movie to do something that I probably would not have gotten to do in mainstream, play the lead bad guy in a Western like that. And it was so delicious. It was a lot of fun. So I'm thankful to them.
It was very Joker-esque. You almost like side with the bad guy in a way.
Well, that was what we tried to do. We wanted to make the bad guy's story so compelling that you go, I don't know, because that's I'm a wrestling fan. That's what makes good wrestling matches too. You got to have the bad guy has to have a good point of view.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. This is The War on Truth. And this is, of course, a timeless war, but it's your new movie and it's your new documentary. Let's chat through it. First off, what is the major storyline here? The truth about January 6th.
Well, the reason it's called the War on Truth is the government has been lying about that day from the beginning, and they created this narrative, and everything they have done has been to continue that narrative and to use that narrative to intimidate Americans, to punish Americans for opposing them, for actually just having a different point of view from the Democrats. And so that's why it's called the War on Truth. The lies that they have done are impacting Americans, decent, normal Americans, in ways that I've never seen in my lifetime. And that's mostly what the War on Truth is about. We try to humanize and show you exactly who these people are, that your government are domestic terrorists, supremacists, and racists who want to destroy democracy. All of that is a lie. They have targeted the most decent people among us, the people who love this country the most, and they have tried to punish them for their patriotism.
You have Louis Gohmert, you have General Flynn, you have some absolute legends in this, and then you also visit with the families and some of the people that have been affected. What were some of the larger shocks that you found in producing this and directing it?
Well, the most heartbreaking thing, of course, is just the raid on these people that are conducted by the FBI. You were speaking to the guest before about how Americans have lost faith in institutions. When you see them sending an FBI SWAT teams and armored vehicles into these little suburban neighborhoods, throwing flashbangs at suburban houses, at people that have never been arrested for anything before in their lives. These are not serial killers. They're not cartel leaders. They didn't even do anything violent on the day. They went into the building, and they are treating these people as if they are dangerous terrorists that are about to blow up their whole neighborhood. And the effect of that is not just what happens to them in the legal system or in the court system. They are demonizing their neighborhood. And they lose their businesses, they lose their reputations, their children are affected at school. And this is done intentionally, and it's so sinister. And Benny, the shocking thing is they haven't slowed down a bit. They are doing this right now. They're raiding people's houses as we speak. They're trying to get as many of these people in prison, or at least under the burden of a court date before Trump takes office, because they want to continue to punish.
So I want to just, Nick, unfortunately, we're having a little bit trouble with the connectivity here. I'm looking for my producers here to make a determination. I want people to be able to hear what you have to say, but we've had some breakups here with what you're saying, unfortunately. So let me just pivot really quickly here to the pipe bomber. Did you ever ask about this? This is some news that was broken on this program earlier in the week that Kash Patel is really going to start looking into who the hell was this person. It's one person that hasn't really been caught. It's the person that kind of seems to have been totally federally orchestrated. Does your documentary cover it? Have you uncovered anything in your research and investigation here about the pipe bomber on January 6th?
No, nothing more than what you already know, which is that they can find grandmothers that walked into the Capitol building for a few minutes, but they can't find this pipe bomber who walked around alone and sat down on a park bench and had a cup of coffee and planted a pipe bomb. They don't know who that is. The flag shows you that they know exactly who it is, and they're trying to cover up the fact that it's one of them. And that is part of the story of the day of January 6th. There were so many people there that we don't know who they were, because criminals have some criminals are good at covering up their crimes. And there were people there, in agents of the government. I don't know which agency or whatever, but they were there intentionally to make that day. They wanted it to be worse than it was. They only murdered 4 people. They wanted it to be much worse, because they wanted to be that they could get blame on Trump forever and get rid of this whole movement, the whole MAGA movement, by demonizing it.
Well, what man intends for evil, God intends for good, and you can find some actual truth. The language of God is truth. The language of Satan is lies. You can find the War on Truth here, the warontruthmovie.com. We're going to put up the website right now. Where, Nick, we also have your X account, which is awesome. Very active on X. Everyone needs to follow Nick on X. And this is on pre-order right now. Is that correct?
Well, it's available right now. You can get it in two places. You can get it at salemnow.com. Salem Now actually has our first movie, Punishment, which was released in 21. And that was a movie where we were trying to figure out what happened that day. And The War on Truth is more of a sequel. It's pretty much a sequel to that film because now we know what happened that day. And you can find them both at salemnow.com. You can also find it at warontruthmovie.com.
Nick, you are the literal personification of politics is downstream of culture, so we must affect culture first. And you're a man who really understood that quote from Andrew Breitbart, and a great one. Godspeed, sir.
Andrew Breitbart is really the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing. He was the inspiration for me finally saying, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut when I see this kind of thing.
It's amazing the profound effect that man's life had on so many. Godspeed, Nick. Please come back soon, and everybody go see Nick's awesome new documentary, The War on Truth.
And thanks. And one more thing, Benny. I do have a book out. It's a great Christmas present. My biography is called Justify This. And come over to X and see me. Yes, Nick Searcy on X. You can get an autographed copy for Christmas.
Nick Searcy. The nicest bad guy you'll ever meet. Merry Christmas, Nick.
Thanks, Benny. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. There's nothing we can do about it. We get our studio all rip-roaring here, but unless you do a Timcast IRL, and Tim even has problems when he has everybody in studio. They regularly have technical glitches. So, like when you are having people join the program, we are totally dependent on their internet connection, and sometimes it glitches, and sometimes it's terminal, right? And it's just catastrophic. So we have to cut interviews short that we don't want to. But it is what it is. We're working on better systems there. The way that Fox does it is they make people go into one of their studios, right, to do a hit. Often, the way that CNN would do it, and the dying corporate media, we like a little more authenticity. But with that comes, well, the realities of being live, which is sometimes bad connections. We're gonna hopefully Nick can just upload his interview there. We can clean that up in post. Okay, so speaking of a cleanup job, what the hell is going on in New Jersey and above our skies? You subscribe to the show because we can bring you a Lorax versus John Bolton meme and a Chucky meme. And we can also talk about this. And we can do it all on the fly. And there are things flying in the sky. That's true. These objects don't have any earthly explanation. Is it a massive psyop? That's what I think. At the moment, that's what I think. I think that the American government is in control of alien technology, and that this may be one massive psyop in order to try and destabilize desperately an incoming Trump administration, because the best way to do that would be to say, we have a national emergency. Now it's time to keep everyone in place. Donald Trump can't get anything of what he wants. We have to shut down Doge. Now it's time for permanent government spending forever. Okay, let's go through some of the articles. Okay, let's pop it up. So here are the here's the write-ups like Fox News. U.S. Military Researcher Center denies New Jersey drones are theirs. What's going on here? There are drones that are flying all over New Jersey. Now people are calling them drones. What we don't actually know if they're drones. They're just bright lights in the sky that are behaving in a manner that don't make no sense. The FBI doesn't know what the hell is going on. The FBI and the American military continue to say they're not ours. Here we go. The FBI doesn't know who's operating the drone. Well, that's a little scary, isn't it? So so some type of giant object is lighting up the sky, multiple, all over your home, and your federal government has no freaking clue what they are? Aren't they supposed to control the skies above us? The level of incompetence here. You remember this Chinese balloon? Is it the same thing? Is this from a foreign government? Is it from the demon world? I don't know. Are they from hell? Somebody tell us. FBI, we don't know.
What is going on in New Jersey?
So, sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey, including proximity to sensitive sites and areas of concern. So we do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more.
Don't have an answer. Don't know. No idea. Hey, get me some more drone footage, please. I have a bunch of drone footage saved. Give me a bunch of drone footage, please. I want to show people what these are. So that's what I want. All right. Get me more footage. I have a bunch of it actually saved. I'll start sending them to the chat. So I want the New Jersey drones, Jerry. Okay, Jerry and Ashley are very, very excited about this topic. And as am I. I'm very interested. I was planning on covering this. We didn't have a block built in the show. I was planning on doing a read on this later today to go up on the channel, but let's just talk through it. Josh Hawley, we're huge fans of Josh Hawley. What does Josh Hawley have to say about this? Here we go.
Yeah, you can't tell me that we don't know what that is. I just think they're not being honest with us. I think that if we don't know, if our government really has no idea, then they're even more incompetent than I thought. We've got to get to the bottom of this, and they need to level with the American people about what's going on. It's crazy.
That's not great. Josh Hawley's on Intel. Josh Hawley's on Judicial. Josh Hawley's a guy who should, I don't know, have something to say about this. Here's what he put up on X. As you know, the B-roll plays next to him. Guys, please get me some B-roll of these drones. I got some stuff saved on my X. I'll send it in. But anybody? If our government really doesn't know what these giant drones are over New Jersey and our military bases, they're even more incompetent than we thought. This is what Josh Hawley says. Time for them to level with us about what's really going on. Okay, so as I hunt down some of the footage that I've saved of this, I want to explain to you what we absolutely know as a matter of fact. We know that there are bright lights over New Jersey. I don't really want to call them a drone because I don't know what the hell, I don't know if they're drones. I don't know. I believe that there are things that can't really be explained, and I believe that there is a universe well outside of our comprehension, the heavens, as some might call it, or the depths of hell. Is that the multiverse? Well, yeah, actually. Like, if you read your Bible and believe it, then yes. And there are unexplained things that happen in the Bible. There are unexplained into and out of the heavens experiences all the time. The book of Revelation is filled with them. And that's what I think's possibly happening here. And listen, I'm sitting at a dinner with Tucker Carlson, and I say, why don't you cover the UFOs anymore? And he says, because I figured out what they were. They're demons. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, that made me uncomfortable. He's like, I figured it out. They're spiritual. It's like they're spiritual in nature, and they're coming from the abyss. Some are saying that they're coming from the ocean. There are many people that are commenting that the origins of these things are ocean bound, and there's a lot of stuff in Revelation about the abyss, and objects emanating out of the ocean. So I don't know. What do I know, right? What I'm saying is that it absolutely is worth covering. Okay, so we have some other footage here. Finally, okay, we have some other footage. Let's pop it up, please. This is the kind of stuff that people are seeing, right? So these are the kind of These are the kind of images that people are seeing flying over. And the way that why people are nervous about this is because they're not showing up on any flight tracker. You know, you can track a tail number. You can track a tail number of Trump's plane. There's an app called a Trump plane tracker. You can track where Trump's plane is. When Trump's going from rally to rally, we actually use it to figure out when we should start our live stream. These people in New Jersey are like, none of these things are showing up on any flight tracker. They're not showing up on FAA. They're not showing up on anything that's not public. And they're flying over our houses, and they look like this. You can see little bright lights. They're real. We're filming them. What the hell is that? What the hell is that exactly? Maybe there is an explanation, and it's like our military doing some type of test. But you need to tell us that. I mean, that's freaking nuts. Okay, so this is allegedly a close-up. I say allegedly, not because I doubt any of these people. That really doesn't look like a close-up. Oh, looks like, whoa, I don't know. Looks like somebody took a drunken photo of their Christmas tree topper. But well, I mean, apparently this is a photo. Okay, and where's this even come from? Photos taken by a professional photographer with a 300 millimeter lens in New Jersey. Orb, saying it's an orb. Well, I don't know. You have to obviously check where you're getting your information. But I would trust the member of Congress from New Jersey. Here's a member of Congress from New Jersey. His name's Jeff Van Drew. And he's on Fox News talking to Harris Faulkner, who's like a very excellent reporter, really solid. And he's talking about these appearances over his state. It's clearly somebody who cares about this stuff. He hasn't been informed. So let's say the FBI and Pentagon were flying a bunch of special aircraft over a state and they're top secret. And they're doing it at night because they don't want anyone to know about it. You wouldn't tell the member of Congress there, Jeff Van Drew, by the way. He's on Intel, and I think he's on Armed Services Committee. So this dude, you're not telling this dude what you're doing over his state? That seems unbelievably reckless. Here we go.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen. That capability exists. It's possible some of those drones are here. So I have two questions. How are they fueling them? They have to land somewhere. Drones don't fly forever. Why don't they close down the airspace? Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's the holidays. Shut it down. But if you start shooting things and you don't know how they're fueled, that's going to be mass explosions. This isn't like one spy balloon. Congressman, this is serious.
We've got to bring them down, and we've got to find a way to bring them down. I don't know exactly where they're landing. Obviously, I have some information, and again, this isn't just Jeff Van Drew. Oh, let's get on Harris Faulkner's show and say something outrageous. I'm telling you the straight deal from very high positioned individuals who are telling me this. And the bottom line is they're launching them. They are across the country. We don't even have anything like this.
No.
Our government and also certainly our hobbyists don't. So think about it. Not only do I have the information, but it's also common sense. We've got to get them down. We've got to determine how they function, what they do, make sure that we can get them, and you're right, in a safe way. When I say shoot them down, get them down any way that you can, but right now they're probably extracting information. This is a clear and present danger to the United States and to our president-elect, and it's a serious business.
Okay. Say what now? Like I'm sitting there, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk about this with you. You have a United States senator saying that foreign adversarial countries are allowed to simply fly wartime aircraft. Let's take him at his word. Jeff Van Drew is a member of Congress. He's a he used to be a Democrat and he switched to the Republican Party in Trump's first term, very famously. He's very, very popular and very smart and a very serious member of Congress. Alex, I don't know if he's been on our show or not, but I'd love to book him. Let's see if we can't reach out to Jeff Van Drew and see if we can't get him on the program. Maybe not right now, but I'd love to book him to get a take on this. I want to put up some video of what's actually happening. Okay, so we're not trying to again, it's our obligation to speak the truth. So let's take him at his word. What you're seeing here in this insane video is a pretty clear shot of what looks like a wartime aircraft or some type of cluster zooming off and behaving in a way that is extremely threatening to American airspace, right? You wouldn't want a commercial aircraft flying into that, whatever it is. Clearly has physical properties to it. Here we go. Let's do this one, if you have it up. What the hell is that? Okay, let's listen. This is from Fox 5, New York.
And it's huge.
It's so big. It looks so much closer in person.
Yeah, my camera doesn't do it. Looks like a spaceship, right? Like that doesn't look like a drone, right? That looks like a spaceship.
It looks like
it's like a small plane. It really is like a small plane. Oh my God.
So to me, that looks like a commercial aircraft. I don't know. I'm reacting live with you. What do you think?
These are all drones in the sky.
Okay, well, this is a little different.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 right here.
Okay, let's do this one. So okay, if there is no explanation for this, that was on Fox 5, right? So if there's no explanation for this, and again, that looks like a military aircraft, does it not? Does that not look like some type of sophisticated, perhaps some type of next gen military aircraft? So you're telling me that a foreign country is able to simply fly military aircraft over the president's home in New Jersey? The president spends half his time in Bedminster, half his time in Mar-a-Lago. So you're letting adversarial foreign countries fly military aircraft over Trump? Are you effing out of your minds? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. What does that look like? That looks like a military jet to me. I ain't no expert. Sure looks like a military jet. You have the member of Congress, Jeff Van Drew, saying, yeah, these are Iranian jet. There's an Iranian boat that's launching military aircraft over President Trump's home. Are we? Do we live in a real country? Do we have any other footage of this? Because we're gonna jump to what some of the other individuals say. So it's like, I want you to see what people are talking about. That there's some crazy S going on up in the sky above New Jersey. Okay, this just is what it is, and they've been spotted all over New Jersey. This is one crazy person. It's like Bigfoot, right? Like, it's not like one guy who staged everything, to get one shot of Bigfoot. It's happening all over the state. It's been reported all over the state and in New York. And New York is, of course, the kind of the capital city of the world. If you were to fake or stage, or if there was to be a real alien landing, well, you couldn't pick a better city than New York City, where all the world's media are. I'm not saying that's what this is. I'm saying that the location seems to be highly centralized. Here's a New Jersey state senator, Doug Steinhardt, on Fox News again, not on some cuckoo pants show, but on Fox News, explaining that they have zero explanation about this, and that the FBI is now investigating.
The best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, then I think we owe the American people answers or explanations. But if they're not American made, if they're not American drones, then I think we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it. If these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States of America. I mean, I think we need to do a better job here.
So what are we dealing with exactly? And I want to do my best to not put up clickbait. There's some stuff that has gotten community noted, right? Some people are trying to take advantage of this and get clicks and engagement farm off of it. We are not going to do that. This is one of those times where we're going to play you Fox News clips and legitimate interviews with actual members of Congress and state senators and elected officials. So here, ladies and gentlemen, a very fascinating clip from Fox 5. This is, of course, the biggest local news. And, in these times, actually local news are the ones who always get the story. The local news sites and the people that actually live in New Jersey, and these local reporters that actually understand the fabric of the communities and can go out and talk to the people. And you get a lot better news from them. Okay, so here's Fox 5's reporting. New Jersey resident took matters into his own hand. He got his own drone, and he said, screw this, I'm going to fly my own freaking drone up there, and I'm going to find out what this is. I'm going to take my own commercial drone, and I'm going to get it, okay? And what happened?
Well, there's been talk in New Jersey lately, mysterious drones flying above multiple counties, and no one really seems to know exactly what's going on.
So this has caught the attention of many. Fox 5's Richard Jacobus takes a look at the latest sightings in the sky.
These are all drones in the sky.
It may look like videos from the TV series The Unexplained, what appears to be mystery drones flying over some New Jersey communities.
I can see 3 drones.
From down at the shore all the way to the Army facility in Morris County.
They just hover. A little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit, but they just hover back and forth.
Wharton, New Jersey resident and Terror Talk podcast host Michael B. has spent the past 2 weeks attempting to see what these peculiar-looking light-up moving dots are in the sky with a drone of his own. But so far, he hasn't had any luck.
The other night, there was, right here over Picatinny, there was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down, dead battery.
Michael lives less than a quarter mile from the Picatinny Arsenal Army base, and it has been there over the past few weeks where the military says they have spotted at least 11 unauthorized drones.
Nobody's concerned about this? I thought we lived in a real country. Do we live in a real country? Are we a real place? We just let these migrant hordes violate our borders. We let China fly a balloon over everyone's home. Who knows how many other of these, we only found out about the Chinese spy balloon because what? ALX, some dude with a telescope found it. Some dude, some actual independent journalist found it and said, what the hell is that up in the sky? And so that's why we're going to try our best in this segment, and we're just building out in real time. We have 1 or 2 more clips to play you This one's fascinating. Yes. So here's a clip of a dude who has this telephoto lens. And he's like zooming in as hard as he possibly can. As he's using the most sophisticated equipment that is commercially available to check out what these lights are. And this is what he's getting through in his viewfinder. You're seeing it right here. Have we authenticated this? No, we haven't. But do we have any reason to believe that this person's lying? Well, we wouldn't have known. Do you know who lied to us? The freaking government. The government lied to us with the Chinese spy balloon. It was the government who was keeping the information and lying to us, and it was actually homies with their own cameras telling us there's a freaking Chinese spy balloon over your city. And so we feel like it's an obligation to simply tell you, like, this exists, and this is what people are saying. So what is that, like an energy ball? Some of the videos look like enemy aircraft, right? Or some type of something that could presumably be launched from Iranian ship. So there's like an Iranian ship docked off our country. Really? We let an Iranian ship get docked off our country? Much of the conversation online is saying that this is either a massive false flag or psyop, that they're trying to start a war with Iran, get Trump embroiled into a war with Iran. Maybe these are being run by our own federal government. And then they're going to blame Iran so that we can go to war with Iran. And you have like 40 more days until Trump takes the chair. And so you could start a war, technically, in 40 more days. Let's say they did something unspeakable to a military base in New Jersey or to Donald Trump's golf club. Maybe they're going to target Trump's summer home in Bedminster. We've been there. It's a beautiful place. It's a massive place. It's a massive golf course. Maybe you hit Trump where it hurts, right? They stage something, some horrible action happens to Trump's home in Bedminster, and that's a precursor for a war that Trump doesn't want to get into, but his hands get kind of tied because of it. I don't know. I'm not sure. These people are freaking evil. That's it. That's all I'm saying is these people are evil. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, totally. To me, it does. But the clips like the one I just showed you defy explanation. This defies explanation. One more time. This defies explanation. Some of these things look like military vehicles that you can kind of explain. Some of them don't. Don't know what's going on here. I don't know. But I know that there have been a lot of deeply credible people that have gone on credible news networks and have talked about it and have said, we just don't know. And that's scary. We have the most sophisticated military in the world. We have the most sophisticated surveillance on Earth. Someone knows. Someone knows. The top law enforcement official in New Jersey would be the governor. He's a scumbag who I personally believe won because of untoward systems of voting in New Jersey, like mail-in ballots, right? His name's Governor Phil Murphy. He's a real jackass. I don't like this guy. But he's up saying, we have no idea what these things are. Again, even more so than the member of Congress, you would assume that the governor of the state, who has the authority, right, to call up his National Guard, to shoot something down, he's like the top law enforcement official in the state, you'd assume this guy would like be concerned or would know something, but he knows nothing. He says, the minute we get eyes on the drones, they go dark. That's what the governor says. Not really inspiring a lot of confidence there, Phil. Here you go.
The drones in New Jersey, in Morris County, I don't know how many mayors sent a letter to you this morning asking for a clarification. What can you tell us? What is going on, and why is it taking so long to come up with an explanation?
Yeah, it's a good, I don't blame people for being frustrated. Let me say, most importantly, right up front, we see no evidence, and I say we, this includes Homeland Security, FBI, Secret Service, our state police, authorities at all levels of government. The most important point to say is we don't see any concern for public safety. That's number one. Number two, having said that, it's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. We had last night 49 sightings. I think 20 of them were over Hunterdon. Now, those include, I think I saw one, mistaken a fixed-wing aircraft, a plane, a small Piper Cub, for instance, for a drone, or you saw one and that counts, and then I saw the same one and that counts. So we think these are overstated, but it's a non-zero number. I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later. I would just ask folks to continue to let the FBI or their local law enforcement know when they see something, and we'll continue to do everything we can with our federal partners to get clearer answers.
Why is it so hard to get answers?
These are apparently as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. And, we're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure. So we've got military assets, we've got utility assets, we've got the president-elect's one of his homes here. This is something we're taking deadly seriously. We've gotten good cooperation out of the feds, but we need more, and that was my plea.
Finally, how much longer do you think
I don't know, but if we have news, I'll let you know. The minute we know something, I'm not going to hide it under a bushel.
Governor, you're going to have people saying, I saw a drone and it was spraying something, or I saw a drone crash in my yard and it set off an alarm when I tried to go near it. There's a lot of fear amongst New Jersey residents. I mean, what is your message?
Well, the message I just gave. But by the way, we're not aware of any nefarious drone that has crashed, or if there is one that's crashed, could someone please call me and let me know where that is? There are a couple of rumored downings for one reason or another. One of them was a toy, the other one was never found. But having our hands on equipment that's on the ground would be helpful, no question about it.
I'm sorry, there is a competency crisis in this country when you have the governor of the state that has, did you hear him? 47 drones? Oh, 47 drones last night. I've been in the White House and they don't have anything. If you find one, let me know. If you find one of the crashed drones, let me know. I got pink glasses. I'm going to put on some chapstick here. Just an alien invasion or foreign invasion or a massive psyop to get us into war. Start a nuclear war with Trump. He just lives here and everything, and they're flying military aircraft or spaceships over his home. I'm just gonna see if they can probe him. Maybe the aliens will probe Trump and we'll find out where he keeps the classified documents. Let me apply my chapstick. What is wrong with these people? Like, you're not having a state of emergency here? Exactly? We live in Tampa, okay? That's where I operate out of. Tampa has a massive military base, and it's called MacDill Air Force Base. At any given moment in Tampa, you can hear the planes flying overhead. These are military aircraft that are flying. I mean, they are zooming. I don't know exactly what they are, okay? They're military aircraft. You can hear them break the sound barrier. You can hear it. And, man, they rip roar sometimes when they, maybe it's an emergency. Maybe it's just them out on a training exercise. I'm not sure. I don't know. Nobody calls me to tell me. They don't ask me permission, all right, when they launch their F-16s or whatever. F-35. What's the latest iteration, right? F-35, is that the one? Is that the one with all the problems? What I'm telling you is that I watch those things fly by my home. At the end of Tampa Bay Peninsula is MacDill Air Force Base, and those suckers cook. There's no way they can't catch these things. There is no way they can't send up a physical aircraft that we know how to operate and fly and figure out what these things are. Starlink has like 400,000 satellites. There's no way we don't have eyes on what these things are from space and can't intercept one. Or at the very least, just get a look at it, right? All we have is people on the ground. You want to know what's shady to me? All we have are people on the ground going like that. That's it. That's the best you can do for us, Governor Phil Murphy, jackwad. I tell you, there's some clips that we can say, yep, that's the governor, that's the senator, that's the member of Congress. There's other clips that just exist in the ether online. Here's one of them. This is apparently a time lapse of the New Jersey sky last night. Have I authenticated this? No. No, I have not. Is it something that's been shared quite a bit in my timeline? Yeah. Does it make any sense? No. Does it seem like there's something happening? Yeah. Does it look like a lot of these things are originating from one location? Sure does. Jeff Van Drew, who's a very, very serious member of Congress on Intel, on Armed Services Committee. I think Jeff Van Drew is a veteran. Hey, Alex, can you please check that? But I believe Jeff Van Drew is himself a veteran. He's saying there's a mothership of which all of these are originating from. What the hell? There you go. So, again, I play you this by saying I haven't called the person who took this video and confirmed it because we're doing the show live. But this is what it looks like. This is out there, right? This is what's out there, along with a lot of other very fascinating, like the Manchester Airport floating orb video. Some of the other strange lights that have been appearing in Arizona and D.C. And this is what independent journalists, and we consider ourselves an independent journalist, are putting out there into the, and saying, hey, look at what we've captured. Look at this. So that's it. That's what we know right now. To create a summary, yes, there are unexplained objects in the air that seem to be clustering around New Jersey. Yes, President Trump lives in New Jersey half the year. Yes, New Jersey is like the gateway to New York. And if you were going to, try and stage some horrible operation or something against New York, maybe you'd use New Jersey as a staging ground. I don't know. But these are the facts. Yes, there are members of Congress, members of the state Senate, and the governor confirming that all these things are happening. Yes, there are unexplainable objects all throughout our skies, hovering over our military bases and President Trump's home. They've all confirmed it. Senators, members of Congress, and the governor. They've all said it. And what they've all said, along with the FBI, is we have no idea what the F these things are. And that's it. There's speculation that there are foreign nations that are doing this to harass America. But take a step back and ask, cui bono? Who benefits? That's what we're always going to do in these situations. And you're going to say, wait a second, who does benefit from this? Who would benefit from starting a new war with Iran right before Trump gets to cha? Who would benefit? Who would benefit from creating a nuclear war in the next 40 days because of some type of false flag or psyop? Really? Got to take my glasses off for this one. Really? There's an Iranian ship that we're just allowing to stage a D-Day invasion of our country? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like D-Day. We're just going to let an Iranian ship anchor and then fly a bunch of planes in. Like it was frickin' Normandy. Yeah, I don't think so. Something's going on here, man. Something's going on here. We're going to take this very seriously. And that's what we know right now. Okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what, if these are demons, if this is the demon invasion of Revelation, if this is just a new weak-ass psyop to try and hinder and kneecap Donald Trump and handicap his administration like they did last time, it's a new Russiagate, right? It's a new Russiagate. Wait for them to blame Russia on this one. Whatever it is, put your faith in what we know to be true, because we live in a world of lies. We are literally suspended in a world of lies, and it is horrible. The antidote to all of those lies is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. The truth, every single show, our verse of the day from 2 Timothy. Keep reminding God's people of these things. Warn them before God against quarreling about words. It is of no value. It ruins those who listen. Set your hearts on God. Set your hearts on the truth. Establish what is true, and then fight for that for the rest of your life. That's what makes us so angry about the confirmation process in the Senate. And it's just they're just like people giving in. They're cowards. They're giving in to slander. They're giving in to lies. They're giving in to anonymous sources. No. Set your heart like flint for the truth. The truth shall set you free. You'll get the truth on this program, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. The truth is out there. All right, is that the X-Files? Freaking X-Files? The truth is out there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep looking for it, and we're going to march right alongside you in search of the truth. It's your boy, Benny. See ya.
Hey, 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 guess what day it is? One world, hey. All companies are falling, so grab a beer, coffee, or tea, and sing with me. Guess what, guess what, guess what, guess what? Hey, 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 guess what day it is? One world, hey. It's hump day.
It's nothing personal. It's just good business.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media dillweeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, us all from Lives for Fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. Show come to mind, us all from Lives for Fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings.